Tessa Storm, the field upgrade that we first got on Black Ops Cold War, has returned into Black Ops 6, and is it any good? Well, let's try to figure that out in today's video by looking at all of the augments and seeing if any of them are worth your time unlocking or just overall using this field upgrade. Now, first thing is first, as always, I like to mention how I actually leveled this bad boy up as fast as I did. Basically, I went to the directed mode of Liberty Falls, went to round 15, got the jet gun, and then just went to the high rounding strategy, which is the bowling alley. And then with the combination of double XP and just sitting here by pressing the trigger over and over, I got it done in about 2 to 2.5 hours. Still takes you quite some time, but hey, I did it. So we're going to be looking obviously first at the major augments, and the first one that we have is called Transformer. The field's damage is increased by the number of allies that are connected. The issue with this one is, at least for me, I don't have friends, or at least multiple friends, to test this out. I thankfully do have a beautiful fiance that was able to hop into the game with me and test this bad boy out. And don't worry, I do have the actual numbers, or at least the amount of damage that you'll be dealing. Now, it does slightly get confusing because the visual indicator for the health bar does show that at least the damage that you deal on your own is increased by 50%, but it says you deal 52 damage. And then if you team up with at least one more player, like I did, it dealt 48 damage. So it looks like it went down, but the health bar says different because it's increased by 50% from the way it looks visually. And I think the visual thing is more correct than the actual damage indicators, unless the damage indicators are just a visual bug, because that's kind of confusing since, again, by myself I was dealing 52 damage and there was no other buffs on it, and then with a player we ended up dealing 48 damage. So I'm personally just gonna work off of the health bars themselves. So unless you are a teammate player and play with a bunch of people or randoms or friends, this isn't that good in any way. It's nice, but not incredible. The second one that we have is called Shockwave. On activation, stun and damage all nearby enemies, which is, I think, my favorite version of the augments on this because it actually works and it's kind of cool. Stunning and, well, damaging is like the big thing that Tessa Storm does. Mainly concentrates on stunning, but whenever you do activate this, a cool ring gets erupted out of you, and it does stun more zombies than it would without the activation of this, and would definitely get you out of a lot of situations if you're cornered or just need to clear out a bunch of zombies around you, especially on Citadel de More, since that map is super tight quarters and just areas that are just too tight to get out of without potentially activating some kind of field upgrade. This would be a very, very nice one to use, and straight off the bat I will tell you that this is going to be the better option. And the last major augment that we have is called Static Discharge. On activation, create a lethal surge of electricity around you. Now, originally I did make a mistake of thinking that this didn't work. I did test this out back to back 3 times in the same match, and I was like, wait, did that even work? And unfortunately it does. The reason I say unfortunately is because it's almost unnoticeable. There is a slight explosion of electricity, but it is not lethal. It just doesn't feel lethal at all. The fact that a major augment doesn't feel like it even works is a bit of a problem in my opinion, because I think major augments, since they are classified as the more superior thing to the minor augment, I think should work better. And as of right now, Static Discharge, from my personal testing, really just almost doesn't look like it works in any way, but it does, but it doesn't. It's a really confusing situation that I'm in, trying to decide if it works, but reviewing footage and kind of slowing it down in some areas, when I activated it in third person, it kind of looks like it works. So we're just gonna say, don't use this. Do not use this field upgrade. If you're trying to choose a major augment to choose from, Shockwave should be your way. Unless you're playing with other people, Transformer is a good one, but I think Shockwave is the far superior major augment. And now quickly moving over to minor augments to power through these. The first one that we actually have is called Power Grid. Increase the range the electric tether can connect to allies. And yeah, it does increase by a slight amount. Testing this out, the distance actually without putting on Power Grid is not too bad from what I was able to test out with another player inside of the game. As you can see, the comparison here between the two, the second time around I didn't actually have it activated as long, just because there is actually a minor augment that we will be going over that does increase the duration of it. But the difference of this instance, unless you're running around with your other teammates, again, another one that I wouldn't really recommend unless you are specifically playing with other players, it isn't anything insane, and the tether or whatever they want to call it does damage zombies, which is definitely a huge plus. So if you have a huge horde and you run past your teammate and then you activate it, this will be really nice to use, but it's nothing insane. And if you want a combination, then transformer and power grid might be the way to go, but again, I think there's a better minor augment that will go incredible with any of these. So for the second one that we have is called Overclock. Your movement speed is increased during Tesla Storm. I tested this out with, of course, no Tesla Storm and the speed normal running. Then I tested this out with Tesla Storm. The speed is definitely increased. It doesn't feel super fast, but obviously if you don't have anything on you, even stamina up or whatever, it is increased and nicer to run around faster. And then a combination of Tesla Storm with stamina up, you do go that bit faster and for longer, so it's a okay-ish one. It's nice to have, but another one that I just wouldn't really go for because the last augment, the minor augment, Lithium Charged, is I think the best part about Tesla Storm, because it increases Tesla Storm's duration, and that kind of makes this field upgrade shine, because the actual time of the Tesla Storm almost feels too short for me personally. It feels like Lithium Charged is supposed to be the default version, because the amount of times that I activate, I was like, oh, the 10 seconds is way shorter than I thought, because the description does say for 10 seconds lightning connects to other players, stunning and damaging normal enemies. So Lithium Charged is an incredible thing to combine with Transformer, Shockwave, or Static Discharge. Again, do you actually work? Who knows? And out of all of the three minor augments, as nice as combining Power Grid with Transformer would be, I think Lithium Charge should be the way to go. Even if Overclocked makes you faster, Lithium Charged is the best. But as a conclusion, not to specifically talk about the actual augments, is this field upgrade even good? I don't know. Personally, I don't see any use in it. I'm kind of disappointed that it did come back. I think there are definitely better field upgrades out there that they could have brought back, or at least introduced new ones. Like they introduced Dark Flare, which is really cool. It's one that I also don't use all that much. But even seeing something like Toxic Growth from Cold War would have been so much cooler than Tesla Storm, or again, something new, because you don't know, 4 years of development is a lot of time. The thing that brings down field upgrades sometimes for me is that they concentrate on team-based things. Personally, I am not just a big team player. I don't play a lot with other people, so it's just something that I wouldn't really opt for, because there are far better field upgrades in the game, like Ether Shroud and Frenzied Guard, and I even put Energy Mine there. It's a pretty good field upgrade. So is it worth unlocking those augments and using it? I mean, if you want to. It's not something that I would really recommend for you to do. Hopefully this video was in some kind of way interesting. I'm really sorry for how long it took me to upload this. I know that there are people that really look forward to these videos from what I'm noticing. The only reason this is uploaded so late is because I had a storm that happened. Kind of ironic that this is called a Tesla storm, and then I lost my power for almost 24 hours. So yeah, I'm trying my best. Finally got this bad boy recorded. Now I'm gonna edit it and upload it so you can watch it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to drop a like in the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.